So coming up in this video, I go all the way down to Sussex to look for a Roseate Tern and a subalpine warbler. Then head out to look for a Red-footed Falcon, and also head down to Dorset to look for a Woodchat Shrike and do a bit of a sea watch. While doing this, I'm determined to try and climb up the eBird rankings as high as I can possibly go. But I'm on 240 species already, and as I found out last week, birding's just getting harder and harder. I've just looked at the eBird rankings and I'm back down to 5th, so I'm going out this week to see if I can restore my position back in 3rd place. I need 2 birds to level 3rd and 3 birds to beat it. So my first stop is West Sussex to see what birds I can add to my list there. So I'm here at a place called Church Norton in West Sussex, which is part of the Pagham Harbour area. Another place that I haven't been to for a while but used to come as a kid. I remember twitching a red-breasted flycatcher here when I was younger. Didn't see it, but did try. But anyway, today I'm having another attempt at Roseate Tern. It's been around for the last couple of days and it has actually been seen this morning, and I'm here now at 8:30 in the morning. So hopefully I can add this bird to my list. I have to admit, things have been getting a little tougher. If you watched my video last week, it was a real struggle to add anything to my year list. So I think that's just because I'm on 240 species. I think that's just the way things are going to be from now on, as I've seen so much already. Fingers crossed I don't have the same difficulty as last week and I can get this Roseate Tern. Well, there's some bird watchers up ahead, which is always a good sign. But there is just so many terns I'm going to have to go through to try and find. I think it's one Roseate Tern that's been seen here amongst all that. Aha! Got one. Thanks to the guy next to me who's let me use a scope as soon as I came up here. Roseate Tern is on the list. That's 241 species for the year, which is amazing. And there's not one either. There's 5. 5 Roseate Terns. There was only supposed to be 1 reported that I was aware of. More must have come in overnight. That is absolutely amazing. It makes up for last week when I missed Roseate Tern as well. I spent quite a long time looking for it, but now I've got 5, so who cares? I've only ever seen 1 Roseate Tern in the UK before, and that was in Dawlish Warren when I was about 14. So absolutely fantastic to have on the list. They're such pretty birds, very pale all over, very elegant, quite rosy breasted, hence the name Roseate Tern. Yeah, what a stunner. Not the closest views, but still such a cool bird to see. Absolutely over the moon with that. And what a start to the week. So this bird is actually a red listed species, and it's one of the rarest breeding birds in the UK, which is amazing. And these guys will have come from West Africa this spring, and they'll stick around for the summer and then depart again in September. So it's really, really cool to have them on the list. Well, Little Tern has always been my favourite tern, or at least that variety of terns, fairy terns, little terns. I think Roseate Tern's got to be up there as well. I mean, it's an absolute stunner with that rosy-like breast. And it's just so elegant. So long-winged, long-tailed, long-billed. Yeah, dainty little things. Absolute stunners. Well, I'm here now at Selsey Bill for a sea watch because there's a fairly big wind today, southwesterly. Ideally this would be southeasterly, and admittedly it's more of a westerly than a southwesterly, but it's reasonably strong, and I'm missing quite a few seabirds for the year, so I thought, well, why not come here? It's as good a place as any. It's quite close to where I've just been, Church Norton, for the Roseate Tern. So yeah, I'm going to sit on the beach and see if I can see any seabirds being blown in. So the wind's coming from this direction, so my plan is to just hide behind this wall so I'm protected from the wind, but the wind is still happening. So let's hope this works. Skuas would be the target here, any skua. So skuas actually steal food off other birds, so particularly terns and gulls, terns that catch the fish and then they harass them and get them to release the fish, and then they pick them up off the water. So really the best way to find skuas is find a big group of birds, a big feeding frenzy out at sea, and that is the sort of thing that will attract a skua, because there's plenty of birds to harass to get their own food. Well, I have just seen a diver fly past at distance, a few shags and a few gulls, but nothing else yet. I'll keep looking. Yeah, I'm sort of focusing a lot of my efforts on that green buoy out there. There seems to be a bit of action in that area. There's a little tern just gone past, which was cool. That was closer. Yeah, I find it's quite good when sea watching to have little marker points to reference, because as soon as you take your eye off the scope, you don't really know where you are. You know, just knowing it's right or left of the buoy, if you need to re-find it, if you need to like blink or something, then yeah, it's quite a good idea if it goes behind the wave. A lot of this kind of bird watching is looking at specks in the distance, so you do have to concentrate quite hard. The other thing I notice about sea watching as well is normally it takes me about 5 or 10 minutes to get my eye in. I can be not seeing anything for a while, and then suddenly you get your eye in, your eye gets used to spotting birds at distance and you're more likely to pick them out. But so far that's not happening to a great extent right now. Right, I've found sort of what I'm looking for. I've found a group of sandwich terns all feeding. This is exactly the sort of thing where skuas might come in to harass them. So far I can't see any skuas. Gannet going past, kittiwake. Yeah, I'll keep looking, but yeah, this is the time to look hard to see if I can pick out a skua. Well, the terns are getting closer, and in amongst them, there's no skuas. Not that I can see anyway. I think there's a few common terns in amongst the sandwich. There's little terns going really close past the beach right in front of me. Bit quick for the camera, and I'm concentrating on trying to find this skua. But yeah, no joy as of yet. Well, there was a bird that I was thinking of doing today in East Sussex. It's typically out of my driving range, but I was heading down this way anyway for the Roseate terns, and it's not like a massive journey on from here. And I've left it about a week because I'm just like, oh, it's too far, there's other stuff to go for. I've just seen the report, it's gone. I should have gone for it earlier. That's a big regret of mine. Subalpine warbler would have been a fantastic bird to have on the list. Today was really the first day that I could have done it. And it's gone. It's such a shame, but you never know. It would have been a UK lifer for me, that one. But I can't complain because I got 5 roseate tern, and they are much more beautiful than a subalpine warbler. Well, despite what I said just now, the subalpine warbler has just been reported, kind of suggesting that it might be quite difficult to find, and it's an incredibly long drive, and I really don't like driving, but I'm going to do it anyway. I'm almost halfway there now. I might as well. So yeah, in 2 hours time I will be there, hopefully. Well, I'm here now at Beachy Head in the South Downs in East Sussex. Been a long drive, but I got here. It's very windy, which isn't going to be ideal for warblers, but I'm going to go out and take a look and see if I can find this UK lifer. Right, so here goes. I've just spoken to another birder who was here since 6 o'clock this morning, so that's 6.5 hours, and didn't see this bird. Here I am in the middle of the day. It's windy, the conditions are terrible for a warbler, and I'm going to look for this thing. But you don't know until you try, eh? Well, I might as well make use of the view, because that might be all I'm going to see. So looking at the map, it looks like the spot's just down here. Can't see any bird watchers, which is not a good sign. Maybe it's if people were hanging around for 6 hours this morning, since early morning, when it's much more likely to be calling and singing than it is now, they've all given up. But it was seen once today, supposedly, by one person, and that gives me a glimmer of hope. So I'm here at the spot now with another birder. He's been here for quite a number of hours too and not seen it. So there's only been one record of this bird this morning, which seems unusual compared to the other days it's been here. So, I mean, does bring into question how valid the record is. Obviously, I don't know. I'm not saying it isn't. But yeah, I think the chances of finding this bird at the moment, based on what I'm hearing, are incredibly low. Well, I'm pretty sure this is not here, or at least I can't find it. So I'm going to head off. Yeah, real shame on this one. I don't normally drive over 3 hours to one spot in a day, and I've done that today. A long drive home. And yeah, it's a no-show. Very disappointing, but it's going to happen, you know. I mean, as I was saying earlier, the birding now, I'm on 241 species, is going to get tough. It's going to continue to get tough. And maybe I've just got to try a little bit harder to get some more ticks. Got to walk back up this hill, which isn't particularly fun. Oh, I've got a bad knee and a bad ankle at the moment, so these steep inclines is hard work. Well, it's 5 o'clock in the morning and it's raining, but I'm here on the Salisbury Plains because I've been reading about how quails call a little bit more in the rain. I'm not sure whether it's all species, but it's some research that I've been doing, and I do need quail for the year. So dawn is the best time to look for quails. So here I am at dawn in the rain. Well, I am trying to listen for them as well. And I think that wind is going to be my enemy. But yeah, I'm almost certainly not going to see them. And I'm probably not going to hear them in this wind and rain. But I'm just interested to know whether it's true, whether they do sing more in the rain. So here we are. An experiment, if you will, and also an attempt to see if I can get my list up to 242 species, which will put me in joint third. So a little bit of further reading saying that common quail, the quail species that I'm looking for, doesn't sing in the rain. In fact, it hunkers down and is harder to have. This just doesn't seem ideal at all, this wind and rain. But it's the only morning I could get up this early this week where I haven't got other stuff to do. Yeah, I was going to get up yesterday when the weather would have been much better, but I wanted to go for that subalpine warbler that I missed. So yeah, quail was one of the birds at the expense of going to see that bird. So my chances on seeing this or hearing this bird are probably incredibly low, and I'm just a madman. Well, I was hoping this rain and wind would ease off by now, but it's not. So I think I'm gonna call this one quits and head back to the car and try again another day. Well, I'm cold, wet, tired, and I haven't seen a quail. So it's not gone particularly well. Should have probably looked a bit harder in my research when it said quails sing in the rain, because there is actually a specific species nicknamed the rain quail. It wasn't referring to common quail here in the UK at all. So that was an error. Well, the rain has actually eased off now and the wind off slightly too. So I am walking back to the car. I do need to get home. But hopefully that improves my chances as I walk back to the car. Well, that was not particularly pleasant, but done. Unfortunately, no quail, but it's always worth a try, and persistence pays off. So I'm sure you'll see me again out here looking for quail in the not so distant future. Well, today, or this afternoon, I'm in a place called Holt Heath in Dorset. And the reason why I'm here is because there has been a male red-footed falcon seen, which is like literally one of the coolest falcons in the world. Kind of smoky grey black with red feet from Eastern Europe. So a proper rarity in Britain. I have seen them a few times, seen 3 in Norfolk and 1 in Oxfordshire. So about 4, I think, 4 or 5 in the UK before, but that doesn't take away how rare and cool this bird would be. It would literally be a contender for bird of the year if I was able to find it. So yeah, I am here and I've been told it's very elusive and a very long trek. I am also literally just got back from a trip to London, so I'm really tired. Wasn't actually planning to go out birding today, but I just couldn't stop the lure of such a cool bird like this. So yeah, fingers crossed I can find it. So this red-footed falcon was seen multiple times yesterday with great photos, but today there's only actually been 2 sightings of it, and people saying it's elusive and difficult to find. All of these things worry me because when I was at the subalpine warbler site a couple of days ago, someone gave me this line. I don't know if you've heard this before, but a bird will always get sighted one more time, at least one more time after it's gone. So hopefully it's not one of those occasions where it's sighted after it's gone and this is actually genuine. But yeah, it's a bit weird that there's just not many reports of it today and were loads yesterday. It's so annoying. I was in London in a family event. Should have cancelled really. Get my priorities straight, but only joking. Hopefully this isn't another subalpine warbler situation. Somewhere around here I think I can hear that bullfinch. But yeah, no time to stop. Have only got about an hour and a half, 2 hours at this spot. So yeah, always against the clock, that's the problem. Just need more time in the day. Right, so there's some bird watchers up ahead. So yeah, let's hope they've got some news for me. Well, I've just been told by those bird watchers that the bird is showing at distance, so that is a good sign. So the first time I ever saw red-footed falcon in the UK, I was about 14, I think. It was literally the first sort of rarity twitch I'd ever been on, and I was just so excited to see it. And that was a female, which are also gorgeous as well. Really gorgeous for female birds, but this is a male, and that is just exceptional. But I haven't seen it yet, so I don't want to get too excited. Well, supposedly I've missed this bird by 5 minutes again. It's flown off quite some distance. A guy who was actually here on site missed it, and he's been here for multiple hours looking for it. Must have flown over his head by all accounts. It was flying super high, could have been very easily overlooked. So I've got to keep my eye on everywhere, including way up above my head and this panoramic view all around me. So red-footed falcon's kind of really similar in behaviour to a kestrel. It kind of hovers like a kestrel, behaves like a kestrel, similar size to a kestrel, to give you some idea of what I'm looking for. And to be honest, if I saw a kestrel right now, for a minute, if it was silhouetted, I'd probably get extremely excited. Well, guess what? Seen a kestrel. Yep, it got me excited. It really did. I just saw this bird silhouetted hovering exactly as I described that would get me excited earlier. But yeah, definitely a kestrel, I'm afraid. It looks like it caught something. Yeah, just hovered here for a little while, dived down. I lost it briefly, and now it's hovering again. There are just endless posts, pylons, trees, bushes, landscape for this bird to be. This is going to be really difficult to find, and I'm almost on my own. There's another birder coming up, but he's the guy who missed it. So this is going to be a real challenge. I don't quite know where to look. Should I be just waiting for it to fly? Should I be searching the trees and bushes with the scope? Yeah, I really don't know. Trying to do a little bit of everything at the moment, but I'm just worried whenever I'm looking through the scope, I'm worried that it's flying over my head, and whenever I'm looking over my head, I'm worried it's sitting in a bush right next to me. So supposedly it's this pine tree right here that I'm standing next to, which the bird has landed in 3 times, and that guy who missed it, who said he'd been here most of the day, he's actually been here for 8 hours and he's still looking for it. So he must be really unlucky. Compared to yesterday when it was just, you know, everyone was basically getting pictures of it sitting right in front of them. Yeah, I don't know why it's behaving so differently today, and it's not good news for me. Well, there's a bird up here on the wire that's just super distant, particularly in amongst the heat haze. It kind of looks interesting. It's upright, could be some kind of falcon. Yeah, it's just so distant. So I'm going to try and walk a bit closer and see if I can get a better view. It probably will still be quite distant by the time I can get anywhere near close to it. Even though I'm walking closer to it, I can't see a path that gets me really close to it. I don't want to walk too far because I'm in the prime spot by the pine tree where the bird keeps landing. But I'll keep an eye on it. I'll keep checking with a scope as I get closer to see if my view improves. It's probably a crow that I'm looking at right now. I mean, it's just a heat haze, a blob, some kind of bird on a wire. Yeah, I'm clutching at straws probably. That happens when you're spending quite a long time just looking and waiting and hoping for a bird to appear. Yeah, pretty sure it's just a crow. Well, I've been here for about an hour and a half, maybe a bit longer, and I can tell you already that this isn't going to be an easy bird to find. There's a group of bird watchers up ahead, including the guy who's been here for now like 9 hours. And I just, because I've been walking around on my own, I'm just worried that they're looking at it, but they're probably thinking the same about me. Well, there are birds around. I've seen some Dartford warblers, which is quite nice, and a cuckoo. They're all too quick to get on film. And to be honest, I don't really want to take my eyes off the sky and the bushes, because the primary objective here is to get red-footed falcon. I spy, with my little eye, something beginning with T. See if you can guess what it is. Well, I've been here quite a long time now, about 2.5 hours. Finally got a Dartford warbler on film, which is nice. It's been around me like for ages, but as I say, I have been focusing on trying to find a falcon without success. Well, at the moment I feel like I need to rename my channel to Dipping It with Harry. Yeah. Could potentially come back here tomorrow, but it is at the expense of other birds. So, yeah, there's options, there's stuff about. And I think the proper heat wave starts tomorrow. It starts to get in the late 20s degrees Celsius, which would be fun. These long old days in the sweltering heat. Better remember to put my sunscreen on for that. Well, that's another dip. It's unfortunate, but it's true. Definitely gave it a good effort. 3.5 hours. That guy who had been here since 7:30 in the morning, and it's now 6 o'clock in the afternoon, he is still there. But I don't know, yeah, to miss it by 5 minutes like that and then spend 3 hours looking for it and not seeing it is a big disappointment. If it gets seen tomorrow before I set off, or even again tonight, I might come back here, but there's a few options for tomorrow, so yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. The weather's really heating up too, so I suspect what's around today may not be around tomorrow as well. So yeah, a few things to consider. But yeah, watch this space and carry on watching this video to see what I end up doing tomorrow. Well, hopefully a full day of birding today. I'm back in Portland Bill, and I'm going to do a bit of a Dorset tour. I may pop back for that red-footed falcon if it gets seen again today on the way home. But yeah, lovely to be here and looking forward to seeing some birds. So Portland Bill, I'm hoping will be a good place. Bit of a gamble. There's been some southerly winds, so birds could be migrating in. It's also the first fully hot day of the year. Now birds might just get here and not stay, they might just fly over because it's quite calm, but you just don't know. As I say, the winds have been in the right direction yesterday and today, so that could mean anything, but I guess you don't know until you have a look around and find out. But the first thing I'm going to do is head off to the Portland obelisk to have a sea watch before the heat haze gets unbearable. So that's the first stop. My little sea watching seat just by the obelisk here is free, which is good. I've actually got it all to myself, so I'm just going to sit here and see what I can see out at sea. Well, the morning starts brightly. I have just seen a Balearic shearwater go past, not too far away, but a little bit too far for the camera, unfortunately. Fantastic. That is a UK lifer for me, probably because I haven't done loads of sea watching in the UK, but regardless, it's fantastic. Well, I've been here about an hour and a half, a lot longer than I was planning to be, so massively behind schedule. But it's been good. There's been Manx shearwaters going past, there's been loads of kittiwake, fulmar, razorbill, guillemot. Yeah, a good variety of birds, and obviously the Balearic shearwater as well, which was fantastic. Yeah, I'm probably going to head off soon. Yesterday there was a Woodchat Shrike seen in the area. Now I wouldn't have thought that would hang on given the weather being so calm, but you just don't know. So that's definitely worth having a look for. So I'll try and make sure that I allow time to do that today and maybe check out some of the migration hotspots here at Portland. So good sea watch there. I've just spoken to a guy who spent 2.5 hours this morning looking for yesterday's Woodchat Shrike, and no joy on that one. So if I do pop there, I'll probably only pop there briefly, because the chances are it's not there. I just don't think it would hang around anyway, unless there's a particularly good source of food in that area, which he doesn't seem to think there would be. Still no reports of that red-footed falcon from yesterday either. So yeah, let's go and up to the Portland Bird Observatory and just see if I can find something for myself. So I've spoken to a guy at the Bird Observatory, which is where I'm heading now, and he says that there's really not much around there either. Again, I think it's this weather where stuff migrating will just pass straight over because there's no wind or rain grounding them as they arrive in the country. But you never know. You don't know until you have a look. Yeah, here at the Bird Observatory now, yeah, I had a chat with the guys. They've confirmed that there's not a lot about. I've had a little look over these bushes here, and not a lot about either, just sparrows and skylarks and a few crows. So yeah, I think that says to me I need to move on. Right, so mission 2, looking for this Woodchat Shrike that was seen yesterday, which people are pretty certain isn't around today. But I always say you've got to take a look for yourself really, because supposedly this bird could be quite elusive in this area. It was only seen yesterday, so it's only been around for one day, and I think there's been multiple people looking for it today. But yeah, I'm going to take a look. I've got my scope with me as well, so I can cover more distance. And yeah, we'll just have to hope that a miracle is performed and I find this thing. Well, I've just spoken to the fourth person who's not seen this Woodchat Shrike. So yeah, definitely not good signs here. However, he has told me, despite it not being reported on bird guides, that the Red-footed Falcon has been seen today. He also told me a story of one that was at Ham Wall last year that he tried 4 or 5 times and missed it on all of those 5 occasions. So I don't know whether that's good news or bad news really, but I guess we'll find out later in this video. So this is the spot just here, this little quarry area. It's actually in the private access area where I can't get to, where this bird was seen yesterday. I've just spoken to a 5th birder, he's not seen it. I don't think it's worth spending too long here, but yeah, I'll give it a little bit longer and then I'll head off to Ferry Bridge and then finally end up at that Red-footed Falcon spot for a second attempt at that bird. Unless, of course, plans change and something else turns up. Well, just had a little look at the eBird rankings. So I'm joint 5th at the moment, but I'm 5 birds behind 4th. So definitely slipped down the table, and it doesn't look like this week I'll be able to climb the table as I'd originally hoped, but see what happens next week. Anyway, still a little bit left of this video to go. Well, I'm here now at the Wild Chesil Centre at Ferry Bridge, just between Portland and Weymouth, and I thought I'd just stop here to see if there's any waders. The tide is a bit high, so probably not, but in my experience this is always worth a quick stop to see what's about. So I've been here 5 minutes right in front of the cafe, and just in front of me there's some ring plover and there's some dunlin as well, super close, which is really nice to see. I mean, relatively common waders, but it's not often you get that close to them. Quite distant too, but you've also got a nice group of little tern out here, which is cool to see. One of my favourite birds in the world. So cute, so elegant, and quite friendly as well. I often find that little terns will feed around you and they're generally not too bothered. And one of the biggest issues with little terns, why numbers are declining, is they nest on the ground, so they're really vulnerable to predation. So kind of like a lot of similar species around the globe of those kind of smaller terns, which is a shame. So yeah, we need to look after them. Well, supposedly yesterday here there was a curlew sandpiper seen, which I need for my year list. Ironically, it's the first place I ever saw curlew sandpiper, but it seems to be the theme of the day that yesterday there was a lot of birds in all the places I'm going to today. So I was on the internet the other day, as I sometimes do, just browsing my ideal house if I ever become a millionaire. Yeah, just over that way was the ideal house, a nice 6-bedroom overlooking Portland Harbour, right next to here. You know, within walk you got access to the beach, sandy beach. Yeah, I thought that'll do. Hey, be alright. I don't think it's for sale anymore though, so I might have missed my chance. Oh, it is really hot today, really hot. So I am going to go back to Holt Heath now and fingers crossed get that red-footed falcon that hasn't been seen at all this afternoon. It's now nearly 2 o'clock. I'll probably get there around 3 and that'll be it. That'll be my last shot at red-footed falcon this week. Right, so I'm back here at Holt Heath where I was yesterday looking for the red-footed falcon. The bird has not been seen since around 10 o'clock this morning and it's now 3:30 p.m. and it's had a lot of people searching for it. So that's the context of how big a challenge finding this bird is going to be. But I like to be optimistic and I like to give things a try. So here I am being optimistic and giving things a try. Well, just up here there's a group of spotted flycatchers, which is cool. But it's cool. Spotted flycatcher's a good bird. Right, so big update. I've just spoken to some people and they said they saw it 10 minutes ago. So yesterday I was 5 minutes too late. Let's hope I'm not 10 minutes too late today. They did say also that it had flown off. So, but there's some birders further down. So I'm going to join them and see if they've managed to re-find it. So I've got here and I've joined a couple of other bird watchers and they have directed me to the red-footed falcon. So it's finally on the list. I'm absolutely over the moon with this one. This one's, I didn't think I was going to see this today. And when I got here and they said, oh, it had been seen 10 minutes ago, I thought, oh, not again. I can see it scratching itself with its red feet, or it's just stretching its wing at the moment. That's amazing. Good quality bird. So just here now, still looking at this red-footed falcon that I can't tear myself away from. It's just fantastic. Every now and then you can kind of see its face a little bit more, might kind of scratch its bill. We've also had some ravens, some Dartford warblers, lots of meadow pipits and skylarks buzzing around. Yeah, it's good, but the attention is definitely going to red-footed falcon. So that's bird 243 for the year. Fantastic, and it puts me into 5th in the eBird rankings. So where I was joint 5th before, I'm now 5th. So 243 species, really good number, and close to that target of mine, 145, which is what I wanted to get by the end of the year and beat my New Zealand score of a big year. So if you've enjoyed watching these videos, then please like and subscribe, and thank you very much for watching.